How to sell the expensive one, because I don't know the history related to this garment. So the retail industry is one other big challenge. The biggest challenge of all is sourcing. We did the CSR screening during the summer, and everybody we talked to during assessments and during interviews were like they couldn't find a factory that could supply them with sustainable garments or sustainable fabrics. And even when they found a factory or supplier that could supply them with sustainable fabrics, they only sold like 5 kilometers, and small designers, they just cannot use 5 kilometers of one kind of fabric. So these two things were like cardinal points of the sourcing. Then if they even found a sustainable factory that could sell them 200 meters of some nice sustainable fabric, they couldn't control if they were suppliant or compliant with the code of conduct, because they don't have the resources to go to Africa or India or China every second month or every half year to check if they actually do as they promise, that the workers get the proper pay or that they do health and safety related to the working area. And the fourth thing is that they can't control the supply chain, because a lot of factories, they have subcontractors. And the subcontractors have subcontractors. And then some of the subcontractors, they do home workers. And it's impossible, as long as the supply chain is so transparent, to control it. And then in the end, we have the confused consumers. Because there are so many certifications and labeling systems within fashion. Some of them are regional, some of them are national. In Denmark we have our own label for organic stuff, and I'm sure you have one here as well. Some of the certification systems are related to the labor force, that the people actually get the proper pay and so on. Some of them are related to nature, some are related to organic, and so on and so on. And before this, there's so many of them, and before this certification system becomes more mainstreamed and there are less certifications, it's not a valuable tool for the customers or the consumers to actually assess what they buy. So let's sum up the challenges. So we don't have enough information about CSR and sustainable design for the designers. But actually there is a lot of book published, and there's more and more articles. The general media in Denmark and internationally, they write about it. Every time they think there's somebody who greenwash or somebody who actually do something good in China or India, they write about it. So the focus is definitely increasing. Then we have the lack of educators capable of teaching sustainable fashion. And Center for Responsible Design was planning at the summer university or summer school next year. And during that process, we during the spring were in contact with, I think, 25 different fashion schools in the European Union. And everybody had an interest in this field. Not everybody were capable of sending a teacher that could actually educate in sustainable fashion, but everybody wanted to send a teacher or an educator, and everybody was interested. So this is definitely also, we're moving in this area.
And we're going to hear about their experience working with sustainability hands-on.
Oh yeah, it's on. Right. Thank you all for coming here today, and thank you for inviting us to visit. It's a great pleasure to be here in Estonia. So, yeah, perfect. I need a mouse, is that all? Well, first of all, I'm just going to run through the agenda, what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit about ourselves, not that much. A little background story about the company, who we are, what we do. A little brief discussion about t-shirts, why t-shirts, and then the main point, sustainability, and then how to become a brand. We are three guys who runs a question of, it's Casper, Thomas, and me, Mads. We have a business background from Copenhagen Business School, so we're not designers. But anyway, we managed to build up a t-shirt company, kind of in the fashion industry. It's all started out as some guys with entrepreneurial enthusiasm. We had a drive for building our own business, and at the same time we wanted to make a difference. So this is not only about being a success for ourselves, but helping other people as well while we do business, which is what we do. As a business, we are very focused on CSR. So every time we can choose a sustainable edition of what we do, we choose that. Whether it's organic cotton or recycled paper, etc. And it all started out as we could see that there were some trends within the area of sustainable clothing. And that's why we choose to look at t-shirt. As I said, we have a business background, so we're not that much into how to make apparel.
In our factory, it has this certification, which means that the t-shirt is produced under the most sustainable working conditions you can find at a factory. That is has a certification. In terms of control, we've also visited the factory several times in the last 2 years ourselves, and we have a good relationship to the management and so on. So we believe that we have a strong control.
The best way to transport it, but we don't send it out with plastic. But we don't necessarily throw out the plastic to keep those things. But we send it in
brown, like
bubble
brown
things.
Paper.
Yeah, brown paper things. Yeah, exactly. But everything that we can make in organic or recycled material, we do that.
So, fair and stable price for the person who produces it. The social premium which goes to the community, and the Cameroon film indicates how proud and important the people feel that they can that they earn money for their work, and that they can their own decide where they put the money. So I think this is a great way to say if people matter and if individuals matter, I think the slow design and slow sort of fashion goes hand in hand with those people who produce the cotton on such criteria that they receive a fair price, that they are able to sustain their livelihoods and their families, that they do the work, that the adults do the work, not children, that children can go to school, and that there are certain, a strong list of criteria which indicates that environment should also be kept intact in the process. The film, the 9-minute little clip, is an indication of Cameroon. I'm actually quite happy to tell those who are Estonians here that this year, in 3 weeks' time, there will be a Cameroonian cotton farmer visiting Estonia in the context of Fair Trade Weeks. So hopefully there will be a little bit more discussion on cotton and on the situation that the fair trade has on West Africa. I also do apologize that the subtitles which are put on the clip are actually over the English ones, so there might be a slight confusion to read the Estonian. I'm certain that the English subtitles do not see it well, so those of you who do not read Estonian, I hope get along with French, which is the language of the film. I'm most happy to talk a little bit more after the film or discuss things in depth, but at this point, happy and ethical designing to all of you, and enjoy the movie.